I heard some rumor, some people told me that we hate IGN ships.
We do?
No, because in this update, IGN heavy cruisers and IGN destroyers are getting massively buffed. Just a reminder for you, we treat all ships equally. We hate them equally. I mean,
ships equally, yes.
did I say it aloud?
Well, I did.
I mean, we love all ships equally. And IGN heavy cruisers, they could use some love. They have increased accuracy in this update, which actually corresponds to Zao current accuracy from Furutaka to Ibuki. Ibuki has some buffs as well, and IGN destroyers.
Oh well.
They have
Are you speaking
increased...
about traverse speed?
No, they have slow traverse speed. Come on, and this is fine because they're not knife fighters.
Well,
they have quite relatively low traverse speed. They have low rate of fire, but we're increasing their alpha damage for high explosive shells and fire chance. Basically,
they are still not going to be the main battery destroyers,
no.
But they will have more of a fighting chance when firing back.
So that's a hint, guys. Use your guns sometimes on IGN destroyers. And of course, I'm not speaking about Kitakaze and Horogumo. We are not buffing these because they are totally fine, if not too fine.
What?
What? Okay.
Moving on.
I guess it's time to move on to further updates.
Is it? Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So Raider and Raider meta.
Oh man.
We know, guys, partly thanks to you, partly thanks to our own statistics, that Raider is causing some problems right now. We're fine with Raider concept overall. We just think that sometimes, in some cases, its influence is just too much.
Yes.
And we don't want to nerf it to the ground. We just want to adjust it. So, Phil, probably you know about two popular community ideas that were floating around about Raider. First one is line of sight check, and second one was dispersion debuff.
Yes.
And we tested both of them. Care to share the results, maybe?
Well, we're taking none of the solutions, unfortunately, out of those two. Line of sight proved problematic because it became too unreliable and too map dependent. Basically, effectively making the Raider a pretty random and situational consumable, which we do not want it to be.
Especially because some ships, like, they are designed in with Raider in mind.
Yes.
They're not maybe centered about Raider, but Raider is very, very important part of the efficiency.
That would completely scramble the meta.
And team play as well.
Yes.
Because we don't see anything wrong with the cruiser helping teammates from cover sometimes. It's not that bad.
Yeah, the issue we see is the instant focus on the ship that is subjected to surveillance, and it's deletion.
What about debuff to show dispersion?
Debuff to dispersion, again, not an easy one, because if you do it too little, you just don't feel the difference effectively. If you do it too much, it looks like a rain of shells, out of which none hit the ship. And looks completely, unrealistic, to be honest, and just stupid, to be honest.
So, what's our current best solution then?
The current working solution is to implement a cooldown for the teammates. Basically, for the Raider user, nothing changes, but for his teammates, the detection only activates after an X amount of time, and that X is yet to be determined, as you understand. But we feel it doesn't remove the focus component, because we still need that. But we also need to give a detected ship some chance to do some evasive maneuvers.
I personally like about this change one thing. It actually doesn't significantly impact your own gameplay. Like if you're playing Raider ship.
Exactly.
Your behavior won't change much. If you want to counter Destroyer, let him up, you can do it. But your teammates will just join the party a bit later, I guess.
And if we're talking about competitive modes, you will just have to take some time to set up.
Okay, speaking about detection, we have neighboring topic, and it's concealment.
Yes.
Especially concealment expert skill.
Yes.
We're changing it.
Yeah. I believe the issue is it's a progressive growth in relation to the class, which works fine for destroyers mostly, but unfortunately with cruisers and battleships, it turns out to be that some of the battleships become less detectable than cruisers and can sneak up on them, and that usually ends, well, fairly bad for the cruiser. So to counteract that, we are just making it a flat rate buff.
That means that some concealment spec battleships will lose some advantage to cruisers in particular cases. Like, this change is quite significant and heavy. I guess we'll have to monitor the ships individually after this.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
we don't have a target to nerf exact ships by this.
No.
We just want to maybe like reduce the influence of this skill overall and even out some interactions between battleships and cruisers mostly.
Yeah, and also, well, make it optional for some battleships and not obligatory.
You know, I think that most players will still take Concealment Expert anyways, because, I mean, with Battleship huge detectability, even this 10% is enough to justify 4 points.
Yeah.
Unless they want to spec into secondary.
Whoa.
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 Okay.
Options, choices, we've got.
I think that so far, some of our dear audience can think that we hate battleships. But that's not true. I heard...
Wait, we don't?
We don't.
Okay.
I heard some battleships buffs are incoming as well.
Yes, buffs are inbound. And if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be tier 3 till tier 9 for the US battleships.
Yes, although we have to be careful about Iowa and North Carolina.
Yeah,
I think they're quite good, but they may use some love. And speaking of tier 3 to tier 7,
sprinkle of love.
Yes. We don't know yet what these buffs will be. We just see that these ships can use some improvements, some love.
Absolutely.
But not only them.
Yes, there's more. Friedrich der Große and Izumo, the fan favorite, as well as Miyogi.
Yes.
The ultimate ship of
destruction,
final annihilation.
Of player patience.
Yes. Well,
yes.
You could say that.
Although, I think we have to nerf some battleships as well. Or change, if to put it more precisely.
Well, I hoped you would not touch on this topic, but I mean, if you want to. The British, of course, headed by the Conqueror, are particularly, how would I say it, uncomfortable in duels and basically battles against other battleships. And not for the British drivers, but for the other battleships. Effectively, they have very reliable damage per minute thanks to their high explosive shells. They have very low citadels, and you cannot really punish them when they broadside.
So thanks to you guys, we know that Conqueror is not fun to play against. However, we know that the statistics is fine in terms of performance. It's not even the best choice on tier 10, but we have a problem. We have a combination of this consistent damage and HE damage and fires, and an ability to punish Conqueror even if it's broadside.
Yes, extreme survivability. Sometimes it's not about the stats, but more about frustration and fun. And if something is toxic to fun, we want to work with it. However, we do not want to nerf it significantly, again, because of the stats. However, a slight raise of Citadel might be the solution.
I mean, we'll try to find the optimal height of Citadel, because we cannot just raise it. We have to find a proper deck to do it, and maybe if it's too much, we will have to do some buffs to it. But
yeah, it could be side grades. We'll see.
Like, our goal here is just to make her punishable.
Yes.
When you catch Conqueror broadside with another battleship, you should be able to deal significant damage. Like, there are German battleships, right?
Yep.
With very well protected citadel, but
it's their national, basically.
It's their trait, and it's their armor design.
Exactly.
But with British, I guess it will have to change.
Not so much, yeah. Phil, there's a thing in our game that I do not enjoy particularly.
When I torp you on my Shimakaze to death?
Well, that's part of it.
Sorry, but I enjoy it.
I'm okay with your torpedoes and with the contact and all, and the eventual sinking of my ship, what I don't like is flooding. I feel completely out of control. I mean, with fires, I usually wait till the second one, I repair my ship, I go on with my day until someone torps me. With one torpedo, I catch flooding, and it's just it's a timer.
I guess you're trying to tell me that flooding in our game is too one-dimensional.
I guess so, yes sir.
If you don't have DCP ready, you die.
Yes. Or, well,
What's
you
wrong with
prepare
it?
to die. It's about the choices, I guess. You should have some choice in these situations, and we have several ways to actually provide player with those choices. Maybe make floodings multiply and make single flooding a little less powerful against your ship. So again, you have a choice. Maybe you expect 2 floodings, 1 fire.
It sounds like fire. Like you can manage 1 fire, 2,
Yes,
3, 4.
yes.
You have a skill which limits the number
if
of
you can
fires.
count. I unfortunately cannot, but that's not a question.
Hence you work in World of Warships Legends,
Yes.
right?
What?
We'll have to cut this.
Yeah, so something needs to be done about flooding, and we have several ideas floating around, and making it multipliable is one of them, I believe. It just needs to be more manageable than it is right now.
We also have some plans regarding cruisers and cruiser balance. So first of all, I know, Phil, you like to delete cruisers while sailing a glorious battleship. But the problem is sometimes cruisers, they try to evade, they do some smart things, they do maneuvering, and you still can delete them.
Yes, Citadel from behind. That's my second
Citadel
name.
from behind. Citadel from behind is fine, but we want to reward angling more. And we're thinking about actually reinforcing the middle section of plating on cruisers, so that while you angle, you can...
If I had less self-control, I would just throw this mic on the ground and walk away, but I'm professional.
I mean, rewarding skill play is good.
Yes, what?
Yes.
I
Phil.
did
Yes,
not
Phil.
understand a single word you said right now,
Yes.
but okay.
But other than that, there are some issues within cruiser class. And namely speaking, IFHE, light cruisers and heavy cruisers. So right now, IFHE has become, as you know, a standard for
Obligatory,
pretty much
basically.
any light cruiser.
Mandatory.
Because otherwise you won't deal consistent damage and you won't fully realize your DPM. We don't like that difference between armored cruiser, heavy cruiser, and light cruiser is that weird. And actually we have a concept in progress, in works, which will define these subtypes more clearly.
Better, yeah.
So in terms of HE penetration, we want heavy cruisers just to be able to penetrate any plating on its respective battle tier.
So basically for tier 8 it would be
From 6 to 10.
from 6 to 10, yes.
Yes, cool. Because it's heavy cruiser and you have a sacrifice in form of slower rate of fire, basically. If you're a light cruiser, you have higher rate of fire.
I'm
and-
not a light cruiser, I'm a man, but good point.
Thank you.
Yes.
And you can penetrate the plating of a lot of targets, but you cannot penetrate battleship plating, and you cannot penetrate plating of higher tier cruisers.
Makes sense.
And IFHE, as for IFHE, we're looking into a way to make it more trade-off than a must choice. Because initially we were hoping it would be trade-off.
Optional.
As you know, now it's pretty much standard.
Yes.
And that's not good. So we want IFHE to allow light cruisers to penetrate some extra targets, some extra plating, but not as consistently reliably as now. Or maybe fire chance trade-off should be higher. Anyways, we want to make IFHE a choice,
Exactly.
not the first perk you should take on tier 4.
All the Warships, the home of choices.
Finally, Phil, I'm going to give you a hard time because I'm going to remember each thing we discussed in Waterline episode 1, which was like almost a year ago. or
But
something.
before you do, I just want to say that I think we fulfilled about 80% of our promises, which were not even promises at that point, but rather plans.
Yes, guys,
There you go.
we have to confirm that many features and changes we spoke in Waterline episode
Yeah.
1 actually are implemented. So it's
either
good.
are implemented
But
or are making
we,
it.
we just
into the game.
feel it's honest and right thing to do to go through some things that are not implemented or delayed or changed.
Yes.
So I have the list here.
Let's unpack it.
Texture streaming,
Oh well.
technology that should let our players
Free up some resources on their hardware and actually use internet more to its capability, and not load the things that you do not to render at the moment. Well, it's still in progress, but we're close to the final iteration. Should be a couple more months, I hear.
I hope so. I
Yeah.
hope so. But
So
we're
do I.
finally there. It's not cancelled, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What about cross-server matchmaker? It's being tested on production.
Well, it's a bit harder to implement than we initially expected, but it's a feature that, if done wrong, well, mars both your experience and our reputation, and we do not want that. If a feature is to be done, it's to be done correctly, right, and it should be polished.
I mean, as far as I know, it can even affect the experience of regular
Yeah,
PvP players,
yeah.
not just clan players.
Yeah, and that's completely unwanted side effect.
All right, we also had some amazing idea to allow cargo ship progression.
What?
Yes, basically upgrades to cargo ship in the port. What
And
happened to
also customization of the torpedo polisher. No, no,
No, I think this were your wild,
That's my personal
wild dreams. you know.
dreams. Yes. Yeah, we did. Unfortunately, it has been well, not high on the priority lists because of well, carriers, game modes, and all.
But
all that we're
we
doing.
did work. Like the upgrades were supposed to give you some economical boosts.
Yep,
We still did work on that.
exactly.
You have daily shipments, you have improved buildings, new buildings on clan base, and actually we implemented a lot of event arcs, like Royal Navy,
Yes.
Gold Navy, and there were additional ways to earn things.
Absolutely.
So basically we just implemented this economy boosts and new rewards in a different
Elsewhere,
way.
yeah.
Different way. But cargo ship progression needs to wait.
It does.
Okay. Speaking of clans, by the way,
I heard now is the time to actually either join a clan or start your own, even if you do not participate in the hardcore clan wars.
even if you don't like people like Caligula,
I like people.
and this actually too means don't like people like Caligula,
Oh well.
pun intended, you still need to join
Offense
clan.
taken.
You still need to join a clan, because basically you just join a clan, you start earning oil, your commander builds some buildings on the base,
What?
and you get bonuses.
What?
You don't need to
What?
do anything else.
Stop it.
No, you need to join a clan.
Okay, continue.
Okay. But speaking of clans, we wanted to change Clan Wars setup.
Yeah, the 8 versus 8 format allowing the second battleship to join. Unfortunately, this at least will have to wait some time because, well, actually having a team of 7 people is not that easy, and making a team of 8 is even harder, and that is shown by our statistics. However, clan activities, they are improving, they are more widespread, there are more clans than ever. So it's something that we can look at in the future, but it still has to wait at this point.
To summarize, we also spoke about new achievements
Yes.
and tech tree layout.
Yes,
So,
well,
you failed to deliver, Phil?
I'm not the feature owner,
What?
am I? Well,
Of course you do.
oh,
Everything you speak in Waterline
yes,
is your responsibility.
I see now. Now you know. It just couldn't fit into our tight schedule, unfortunately. But since we're speaking about it, we absolutely did not forget it, and we're going to work on it at well, nearest available point probably when the carriers are done.
All right, this is it.
Yeah.
These were some plans for further updates. We even did not discuss like the closest updates, like 0, 7, 12, and then updates of New Year.
That's for Dash.
So there will be much more news. Follow our channel, subscribe, dislike Phil, like me.
Yes. Push the bell button.
Yes. And actually, let us know in the comments, was it fun for you, was it interesting, and what questions do you want us to cover in the next episode? Thank you.
Bye-bye.